Hey guys, and welcome back to Culture Boys, a show where two guys just want to have a chat. I'm Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by Pepe. And this week, we're finishing off the current trilogy. It's Sonic the Hedgehog 3, baby!
Yeah, let's go. So we're actually finishing off this time because any previous listeners might remember that we've done the first two Sonic movies before.
Yes.
We did it back in October because I thought that Sonic 3 was out in October. Turns out it wasn't.
Yep.
It was in cinemas in UK at least on December 21st.
Yep.
But it prepared us for this because we both watched Sonic 2 and then we were like, yeah, we'll go see Sonic 3. We didn't actually plan to see Sonic 3 in the cinemas. This is one thing.
No, it just sort of came together that way.
Yeah.
Just so happened we were all free and like, hey, let's hang out and do something. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, and then Sonic 3 was there, and we're like, yeah, go on, why not? So we've watched Sonic 3. Hey. Nathan, do you want to give a rundown of what Sonic 3 is? I mean, it's Sonic, innit? Let's not beat too much around the bush here, but give a rundown for it, why not? We'll do the thing.
Sure. Once again, directed by Jeff Fowler, distributed by Paramount Pictures, as previously stated, released December 21st, 2024, at least in the UK. I think worldwide release was roughly the same time everywhere, around the early 20-somethings of December, very close to Christmas. Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails reunite against their powerful new adversary, Shadow, a mysterious villain with powers unlike anything they have faced before. With their abilities outmatched, Team Sonic must seek out an unlikely alliance.
Ooh.
Thank you, IMDb.
Nice. Sequel, Sonic 3. This is one thing with it. They've done really well with the sequels here, I will say.
Yep.
Because, Sonic 1 was... I think it surprised everyone that it was actually that good. Like, when it first came out, everyone was like, whoa.
Oh, the first one had no right to be that good.
No. And then they bring out a second one. And the second one is also quite good. And you're like, oh, okay, that's quite surprising. And then they bring out a third one. And again... I'm going to say right now, it's pretty freaking good.
Yeah. I will say the third one, in my opinion, best of the three.
I completely agree. Yeah.
Hands down, best of the three.
Yeah.
It's not just because, it adds Shadow and it's got more of the Sonic Adventure 2 storyline. It's just, as a film, it's more action-packed.
Yes.
There's more story and lore, and it's like... It just feels like it's more interesting.
Yeah, I completely agree. You got I think where you look at number 2, for example, and I feel like they try and play a lot more comedy in number 2. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Bear in mind, these are all family films, right? These are all family. There's not going to be mad action.
We are far from the target audience.
But I mean... It does drop those little hints here and there of oh, look, you see this? Here's this little Easter egg of some Sonic thing. Hey, you see that? Remember that in the games? And it's yeah, cool. That's cool. I like that. But I think this, like you said, this one is much more action-packed. And the thing is with the first two Sonic films, you have a lot of these characters in it as well that are they're relevant to the story, but I'm just kind of do I really care about them? Because there was that whole wedding plot in the second one.
Yeah.
It was there for comedy, understand that, but it really wasn't that great of a storyline, I don't think.
No, it wasn't. It was just so you could still have Tom and Maddie in the film doing something.
Yeah.
But, that was it.
And arguably as well, in this film as well, they've cut down on a lot of the Tom and Maddie stuff. Which...
Yeah, I think they learned from the second one.
I think they're actively moving away from it because realistically, in a Sonic film, you want to see the Sonic people. And Tom and Maddie were essential for number 1. I get that. But as 2, you get okay, cool. And arguably, Tom and Maddie are Sonic's link to this world. If you lose Tom and Maddie, you lose Sonic and Knuckles and Tails' connection to the world. Why are they there? They might as well just go back to... thingy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a reason why they're there. They have a purpose, and I understand that. But cutting down on a lot of the Tom and Maddie stuff in this film, I think really does help it a bit. In terms of story, it makes it a lot more action-packed, and it shows what Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and Shadow can do.
The thing is, now that more Sonic characters are in it, and we've established more of the Sonic things, because, Gun was in the second one.
Yes.
But they weren't in it for long. And in the first one, they were basically at the end. So in this one, Gun's in it quite a lot. And I think having gun and sort of more Sonic World government entities in it is probably where we would have more of the human interactions with
Yeah.
like the Sonic characters, because like eventually more of the cast are gonna turn up, because we still got Sonic, obviously, Tails,
Mhm.
Knuckles. Now we've got Shadow,
Mhm.
and you're like more of the Sonic characters are gonna start crossing over.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just a given. Let's face it. Like, there's so many Sonic characters like that still haven't appeared.
This is like them confirming as well. They've already confirmed that a fourth one is coming as well.
Yeah,
And like it does mean like obviously they're bringing more and more characters. However, part of me is like, how many more do you need to add with it before it becomes a bit too inflated of a cast list? You know what I mean?
yeah. I think we've got most of the main people,
Yeah.
and we won't spoil too much.
Well, we'll let you know if we do. We'll let you. It's going to be a full discussion of the film, so we will try
We'll
and.
we'll talk about the film, but I think the big
Mhm.
things that people should experience for themselves.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I hope
that's
you're catching what I'm trying to say without
yeah,
me actually
yeah,
trying to
yeah, yeah,
say it.
yeah, yeah. Like
Okay,
basically,
cool, cool,
we're
cool.
not gonna do whatever happens in the last 30 minutes of the film. Let's put it that way. We won't talk too heavily on that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, it's making a fourth one. Obviously, they're gonna add more characters.
yeah.
Is there a possibility that Shadow's gonna come back as well? That's a thing as well. Like, who knows? Like, because this is one thing. Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes on with Shadow in this film, and arguably Keanu Reeves does a really good job as well.
He kills it
Yeah.
as Shadow. He's a surprisingly. I know some people are like a lot of people are like tired of the celebrity castings because
Yeah.
it's just like oh whatever. But Keanu as Shadow is actually real good.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where, like, I think I was talking to you briefly after it. It's like certain characters in the film, or certain actors, voice actors, you can kind of hear them come through in the voice acting. You're like, oh, yeah, like Idris Elba's Knuckles, for example. Like, he's speaking, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, it's, occasionally you think, oh, crap, yeah, that's Idris Elba. Like, not all the time, but there's certain bits of it. It's like, oh, yeah, Idris Elba's Knuckles.
Mm.
Whereas, like, Keanu Reeves, you'd be like, you can listen to it, you'd be like, yeah, that's Shadow. And then you kind of forget that it's Keanu Reeves. You know what I mean? It takes you out of it a little bit, which is
Yeah.
good. Like, and I think like there's a lot of voice acting which is done really well. It works. It works decent.
I appreciate when it's like casting that works.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it didn't work. Luckily for the other team, Nintendo, it did work. But like I'm still not ever gonna get over the whole. Oh man, he's put in all this prep work. He's got the accent, and he's gonna be so amazing. And then we still just got Chris Pratt. Obviously.
It is just Chris Pratt. It feels like as as a casting kind of thing, like it does work really well. A lot of work has gone into this with this this Sonic movie trilogy.
Yeah. On the back of that, I do want to just say,
Mhm.
in before anyone says, but it was just Keanu being Keanu. I get it. But I'm just saying, at least no one came out and hyped him up and was like, yo, my guy has done all the work and he is Shadow. He's become a red and black hedgehog and he's so in it. He's method acted to hell and back and he is the character. Like, just don't say things like that. And then when it doesn't happen, like,
Yeah, that's one thing. I feel like, bear in mind, the Sonic fan base, they saw Keanu as Shadow, saw the casting, and they're like, ooh, okay. And then, even before the film dropped, there was like footage of Keanu in the VO booth doing lines and stuff like that, and people were hyping it up. That's beside the point. Keanu's obviously going to do what Keanu does, you know what I mean?
oh yeah.
Like, he's Keanu Reeves. He's,
Yeah. You're gonna doubt that man?
yeah, like arguably the whole cast in here, they're all professionals. They're all great voice actors, and they do put a lot of effort in with it. I think the whole cast in general, not just the voice actors. You got Jim Carrey doing stuff as well in this, which is obviously it's Jim Carrey, you know,
Yeah.
the icon that he is.
I mean, the funny thing is, I feel like in this one is like the closest we've gotten to him going back to almost like 90s Jim Carrey. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, yeah.
and unfortunately, I think I'm just getting too old.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the combination of this being a family film written in a specific way for a different target audience, and then Jim Carrey pulling off exactly those bits that they write or didn't write for him. I don't know if he improvised them or not entirely sure. But there was a lot of parts where Eggman or Robotnik, whatever you want to call him, there was a lot of times where some of the Robotnik stuff, I was just kind of like, cringe, man. That's cringe.
I think like arguably Carey is one of the biggest selling points for this film, regardless. He was like one of the biggest selling points throughout this whole franchise so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's a legend, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
and a legend that came back after God knows how long.
Yeah, he almost retired basically, and then he came back for this, and then just kept coming back.
And has also said he would be interested to keep coming back.
It's nuts, isn't it? It's like, imagine like pretty much quitting the whole of acting and then be like, you know what? No, I'm gonna come back for this for this franchise. And arguably he's absolutely smashing it. It's like it's the Jim Carrey you all know and love. And it's like I can understand what you mean, where some of it is a little bit cringe humor, but it's like it is going back to these are family films at the end of the day, and what the kids are gonna find funny is those Jim Carrey moments, same way that we did back in the day with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Arguably humor does change over time, sense of humor change over time. I think that the jokes do feel quite kiddie when it comes to Eggman and his...
Eggman. Well, it's Robotnik and Robotnik because it's Gerald Robotnik and Ivo Robotnik.
Yeah.
The thing is, the cringe part for me was I could understand Ivo maybe being a little more in tune, a little more willing to act like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Gerald, the only reason I can understand that Gerald might act like that is because he's been a crazy old scientist man for 50 odd years, right?
Yeah.
And he experienced some trauma, so maybe he's just a lot of screws loose.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, there were some things that I'm like, I cannot suspend my disbelief that this old crazy scientist man would be doing half of this like modern day cringe humor shit.
I have to think of it this way. Both, like, obviously Kerry playing both roles, right? It's basically Kerry bouncing off Kerry.
Yeah.
And it is, if he's gonna play a similar character, I could see why the character does these things, why Gerald and Ivo are doing both of these things. Like, he's playing a crazy scientist, just a younger version and an older version.
Yeah.
Obviously, one's more scorned because of what happened to his granddaughter, Maria, who freaking died.
Yeah.
That's not a massive. That's happened in the games, and that's happened here. So we all knew that there was a reason why that character was brought in. Let's be honest, to this film.
Yeah. Again, I did say it follows it's got a lot of Sonic Adventure 2 in it, and for a lot of us, that is the big draw as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's because a lot of us played Sonic Adventure 2, so you know you're gonna know a lot of the story beats.
Yeah, and it's gonna happen. Like, this is one thing with the Sonic films as well. They're not always following the games like precisely either. These aren't following a set pattern.
No, they will take like tiny bits.
Yeah.
Like 2 with the Knuckles stuff and like Robotnik had the tiniest bit of Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, like even this, doing Sonic 3 as a Sonic Adventure 2, it's not a Sonic Adventure 2 movie at the end of the day. This is taking inspiration from those games, and there's a lot of it, don't get me wrong. There's like a lot of stuff that comes through, and you're like, oh, look at this. There's like, oh, look, like, bear in mind, Shadow having a motorbike in a garden isn't from Sonic Adventure 2, that's from its own freaking game. But it's still...
But Live and Learn is from Sonic Adventure 2.
Exactly, Live and Learn constantly popping up through the movie is quite a cool little thing.
Okay. Before anyone gets too excited though, it's not all of Live and Learn. It is that very first bit.
Yeah.
Always the same, like, it almost feels, it's really funny because it almost feels like watching YouTube videos because it feels like the same, like, up to 30 odd seconds to avoid like copyright or something, you know, and then it cuts out, or then it'll play like the next part next time, and then you'll hear a little more, and then I think once, maybe twice at most, I heard "Live and Learn."
Yeah, it's only at the biggest parts where you hear the Live and Learn. They don't over-egg it. It's there, it's present, but you're not like, you have to be like, wait. There it was. And being Sonic fans as we are, like, me and Nathan sat next to each other in the cinema. There it is.
It starts super early as well. I remember leaning over to you and being like, did they just play Live and Learn on that guitar?
See, I didn't pick that bit up. Like, you picked up and I was like, shit, yeah, that was it.
Well, it's because it's like in the audio mixing for that one tiny scene super early on, it was kind of quiet, but I caught a tiny bit of it just a tiny bit. And even from like, I think 3 notes, I was like, I'm pretty sure that was live and
It
learn.
was. It's mad how you clocked onto that straight away. That was very impressive.
I've sat on that menu screen like too long on Sonic Adventure 2. Honestly, every time it came up, that's what I saw in my head was like the menu screen.
But I mean, yeah, it was really good in this. It was cool to see that. And going back to what we said as well, is that there are parts of it which obviously are taking inspiration from Sonic Adventure 2, but it's not completely following it. Which is why I go back to the Ivo and Gerald stuff. Because this feels like it's within its own cinematic universe, this bit. This isn't so much based on the games with those. It is very much like...
Well, yeah, because also in the games, like, Gerald and Maria, like, aren't around.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Gerald. I don't remember what happened to Gerald in the games, but in the game, Maria, Maria got it worse in the game. We're not going to mention that. If you know, you know.
Yeah, we kind of brief it. If you haven't picked up on it by now, I don't know what to tell you. But I remember in the Sonic X cartoons, it was he turned up. Old man
Did he?
Robotnik. Yeah, he does. It's in one episode. I remember it. I swear he does. Because
What?
I mean, that's how I know who he is. Because I didn't really complete Adventure 2 back there, or don't play much of it.
I mean, like, in Adventure 2, I just remember he was like a video.
I'm
like,
I'm not making this up, right? Hold on a second.
in Sonic Adventure 2, I remember going to like getting to the arc and then the like flashbacks and stuff from I think Shadow, or it must be Shadow. But like, yeah, I think he just died for old age.
Yeah, he was in Joe Robotnik. Wait, was he just a flashback? Surely not.
Probably.
No, I swear he was part of the main series.
I don't think so, because in like most of the games, they make it out that like Gerald Robotnik was ages ago.
But then like there's this bit here where he's like kind of captured and he does all this stuff. You know, in Sonic X.
I mean, that could easily have been a flashback.
Was it a flashback? Am I just misremembering? Bear in mind, it has been over 20 years since I watched Sonic X, so maybe I am wrong here. I haven't got concrete proof of that. So yeah, okay, maybe it is just a flashback. I thought he was.
I mean, it is what it is.
But yeah. Going back to the point that we were originally going on about, though, the two Robotniks being overly kooky and overly comedic. It fits within the movie.
I mean, I guess you're not wrong. Having basically two of the same character, just age difference, you do need some sort of differentiation.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I would have thought, and this is, again, I'm not the target audience for this, but logically, I would have thought that Gerald would act the way that Ivo was and vice versa, you know, like to me that would make more sense if Ivo was the one doing more of the cringe shit, but like, that makes more sense. He's younger, he's probably more in tune with the culture of today, you know, like the internet culture of today. Whereas Gerald, being the crazy old man scientist who's probably been skulking around doing whatever, it would make more sense that he doesn't know these things because he's been like hiding in the background doing and plotting, you know what I mean? To me that makes sense. But at the same time, I'm not the target audience, so whatever.
They'll do it for the gag. They're just going for the gag. That's the main thing with it.
I mean, yeah, you know, there's definitely jokes and stuff in there from those two characters that you're like, it's definitely for a different generation.
There was one line which I found absolutely hilarious. I think I like burst out loud laughing at it, but I don't think anyone in the cinema laughed at it though. It was where like Gerald says something like, "Oh, this is different back in my day" or something like that. And no, it was like he says this really like kind of misogynistic line. There's like, "Oh, women in the military."
Women in the military. Yeah.
It doesn't get commented. He just brings up, and no one's like, "You can't say that." Like he just says it, and everyone's like, "Oh, okay, cool." He just threw out some misogynistic shit for no reason.
No, I remember that. No, yeah. You were like one of the only people who reacted.
Yeah, it's like fucking hell. It's complete like granddad humor, you know, like not granddad humor, but granddad coded.
Oh yeah,
it's like, oh, back in my year, would have women in the military kind of thing. I was like, freaking hell. Okay, that was quite.
I did cringe at that.
Yeah,
and that was like, ooh. all right, granddad, calm down.
No, it is like I was like, okay, now that caught me off guard. That was very that was not expected. But at the same time, you would expect him to do that though. That is completely within his character to do that. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Luckily, he didn't do more of that kind of stuff.
I think if he did more, it would have been really problematic for a kids' film.
Could you imagine? Sonic 3 would have been the best, but they
Yeah.
got cancelled because of went too hard in the misogyny jokes.
I mean, it's just like imagine if you went further, but imagine Gerald Botley just pulling some racist shit going down.
Oh god.
God, that'd be yeah.
Jeez.
Just imagine all this stuff going out, and Gerald just throws out a slur around and be like, "Whoa, what?" You know, Gerald.
The thing is, right, if this wasn't a kids' film
yeah,
and it wasn't a movie, right, I could totally see someone writing Gerald Robotnik to be like that. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, I feel like they would have him be a little more, like, posh sounding or a little more, like, pretentious sounding.
yeah,
And then, because he's, like, that old-timey professor type,
yeah.
he would just throw that shit out, like, no problem, you know?
Oh, yeah.
He'd be throwing out slurs like Frieza does, bro.
He'd be that right wing uncle at a Christmas do. He'd be like,
Yeah, the one,
right.
the one that you're like, oh god, why is he here?
The thing about today is the kids don't know. Back in my day, you could say that. And you're like, no, Gerald, no. Yeah, he would be like that. But what else we talking about? What else going on? I want to throw out a little like, I don't know, any One OK Rock fans with Neon being played when they enter Tokyo, when Team Sonic turn up at Tokyo. Love that.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I didn't clock until almost the chorus.
Yeah,
Like, because, you know, like, you're sitting there, you're absorbing it all.
yeah,
And, like, it does kick in as soon as like, the Tokyo skyline comes in.
yeah.
And I heard music, but it didn't register in my brain until just almost before they start going, neon lights. I'm like, oh my god!
Because I turned to you, I was like, oh my god, is this? And then I think you didn't react, and I was like, wait, is he just watching the film? Is he that involved in it? That's fair. and then you turned back to me.
Yeah, I think it's because you said something that I actually started listening.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa!
I heard it within the first few notes. I was like, wait, what? Because I thought it was Bon Jovi at first, and I was like, oh, fair enough. And then I was like, it got a few more notes, and I was like, yo, this is Neon.
What does that say about me? Apparently, I'm more of a Sonic fan than I am a One OK Rock fan, even though they're like my favorite band.
They've got a lot of crossover on OK Rock and Sonic.
They do. Well, One OK Rock and video games, apparently.
Yeah, I'd say two. Oh yeah, One OK Rock. Yeah, I mean, it's that.
I mean, video games in general, but yeah, it's just funny because I'm like, I recognize Live and Learn from like
Yeah.
3 notes on a guitar, but a band I've seen live several times and heard this song live several times, could not recognize it until someone almost had to point it out to me. That speaks volumes, I tell you.
I'm just like, hey, it was just a cool thing to hear. It was like a.
Bro, that was sick. And the thing is, like, there's very few other like artists involved like that, you know, like you don't hear many other like songs outside of just like general ambient music and then like
I'm trying to think like what other, because I feel there's one other song that they played and I was like, oh, isn't this
yeah, there was something else they played, but I feel like
Sonic 3 soundtrack.
Do you reckon the Chow Garden music was original, or that was just some random idol song that, or like J-pop song that most people wouldn't know?
I feel like it's original, right? I don't know.
That's what I was thinking, right? Because there's no way they would just do that, you know, just put on some random satin.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the I've got the soundtrack on Spotify here right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you forget how many songs are actually in this. You have like obviously Live and Learn, it's up there. That makes sense.
What? Oh my god, live it.
And like Neon, 1OK Rock, you had Firestarter by The Prodigy, that was in there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wouldn't It Be Nice by the Beach Boys.
Oh yep, okay, yep. I remember that.
99 Red Balloons was the other song that I was thinking of. That was the one that I was
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
because I was thinking, like, wasn't this in another video game movie? But I think I was thinking of the Mario movie where they played Take On Me. I think that's what I was thinking of.
Right, yeah.
There's a lot of, like, just side note, there's a lot of artists on here which I didn't actually pick up on in the movie. Like, apparently Kid Cudi had a song in this film.
What?
Don't Stop Me Now. That was another one.
Oh yeah. God, how many songs did we not pay attention
I
to?
mean,
Jeez.
there's probably
Oops.
there's a song called Lollipop by Tempura Kids, and I'm kind of like,
That has to be the Child Garden music, right?
do you think? Yeah.
Has to.
It's not long after Neon, so it actually probably could be. It might be.
Think about where we're talking about and what happened, right?
Yeah.
Child Garden, and then a song by a band called Tempura Kids. It has to be. There's no way it's not.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, there probably is. Yeah, okay. It makes sense. It does make sense.
Like, there's no way it's not them. That has to be the Child Garden bit.
We'll have a listen properly later. We won't do it on record because we don't want to get fucking, I don't know, some copyright.
Well, yeah, obviously we we're in trying to get done in.
I think one thing I do want to touch on that I don't think we talked on much about. I know we have mentioned about this being a lot more action packed. However, like I guess this is gonna be kind of spoilers for this, like towards the end of the movie. But so just maybe switch off if you haven't seen it. I don't know, or skip to a certain point. But Sonic and Shadow teaming up.
Ah, yes.
Not just teaming up, but even their fight, where they both go Super Sonic and Super Shadow.
That was straight up Dragon Ball, bro.
I couldn't, but yeah, anyone that's watched Dragon Ball Z before was getting the vibe from that, and it would not surprise me at all if while they were like trying to come up with like a mood board or something like that, or like a storyboard,
Yeah.
they were looking at Dragon Ball scenes at that point and be like, look, we can incorporate this.
Oh, hell yeah.
They must have. There's so many like kind of not references, but like you see where the inspiration comes from there. And boy, did it look fucking sick.
Well, again, it's because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Two golden warriors that can fly, that are powerful. The comparisons have been made for decades on decades.
Yeah.
And you want inspiration? Well, there's more than enough source material.
Yes, right there, yeah.
They even had like the trails as they're flying around. I feel like though it might have been closer to like Broly because like some of it reminded me of some of the fight scenes from Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Yeah, I can see that. Like it
You know, there's some of the when it's like Gogeta Blue versus Broly, they're flying around, they got the trails, and you can see like the green and the blue like flying around. I feel like that's sort of inspiration for that.
like the going between location to location as well. Like obviously, yeah, you're going around the world and stuff like that, but you also switching up locations. Like Shadow's throwing Sonic through somewhere, they end up in like Egypt where the pyramids are, and suddenly they're at another location. It's like bang, bang, bang. It's like, oh, okay, this looks cool.
And then they do a Kamehameha and a Gallic gun, and then the Shadow turns into a giant super hedgehog. And then Sonic has to charge a spirit bomb.
Imagine if it just went straight into just Dragon Balls. It was just like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
shit.
it just turned into Dragon Ball.
Whoa, hold on a second. This ain't how I remember it.
It'd be even funnier if they like it wasn't reanimated, so it was Shadow and Sonic doing it, and it just hard cut, and it was just Dragon Ball.
It's just like
straight up there.
It's just there.
It's just Goku and Vegeta on screen now.
Everyone in the cinema are confused. Like, wait, hold on. This is cool, but what? Why? Why is this here? But I mean, even like not just Sonic and Shadow's fight, but even like them teaming up as well against like all the robots and stuff like that in space. It looked fucking sick. Like just seeing them like fight together, team. It felt like a proper like. Don't get me wrong. Any person that is just a Sonic movie fan will love it. But anyone that is a long time Sonic fan and a long time like I don't know Dragon Ball fan, I guess as well, arguably, like watching all this, it feels like damn, this hits different, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, another part that hit real good, and again, closer to the end
Yes.
is right after the gun stuff, the confrontation between Sonic and Knuckles.
Yes.
That was like weirdly such a really strong scene
Mm.
because I had to think about it again. It's because of how it plays out that you're like, dang, this is strong. Because it's, Sonic's like, give me the Master Emerald. I want my revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And Knuckles is like, no, we promise not to use it. And they're getting heated. And then Knuckles is the first one to back down, like, calm down and like, no, we're not doing it. This isn't the right choice.
Yeah.
And when you think, when things like that happen and characters like Knuckles backs down first, you're like, shit, man.
It's good to see that kind of character growth in Knuckles in himself, because Knuckles has always come across as, oh, he's the meathead, he's the thing, he just wants to punch things.
Yeah.
And seeing that emotional maturity from Knuckles it's really cool to see. Doesn't make him a one-dimensional character. And I think that kind of goes for that goes for Sonic as well. You're seeing him go through a range of emotions, like compared to 1 and 2 at least. Obviously you always have Sonic facing that emotional dilemma, but this one feels like there's even more of it this time around. But the whole Team Sonic thing, where between Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, like I feel like this doesn't feel like, oh, we're sidelining Tails and Knuckles because you got a Shadow.
Yeah.
Like Tails and Knuckles also get their flowers in this movie because they're still very much prominent and they're not left in the background. They're still there, they're doing stuff, and they're still very much essential to the plot, which is like in certain sequels and trilogies you may see characters that were in the second one or the first one getting sidelined a bit more. Arguably, yes, you do see some of the human characters do get sidelined in this,
Yeah.
but arguably I think it's for the better. In this time, like your key characters, Sonic, like Knuckles and Tails are key characters within the Sonic universe, and they don't get sidelined in this. They could easily have sidelined Knuckles. They could have been like, yeah, he had his series on Paramount Plus. We don't need to do more Knuckles stuff. But they do more Knuckles stuff. They have more Tails stuff. Like all of it's there. Sure, it's not as big as number 2 because they are the focus number 2. This focus on 3 is Shadow. But you're still getting that focus on Knuckles and Tails there, which is it's good to see. They didn't just write them out. They didn't just sideline them. They're still very much prominent in this movie, which is great.
I mean, especially like Knuckles, where in the games, in more modern games, Knuckles is way more involved, but like in the older games, Knuckles like most of the time was just like, I'm guarding the Master Emerald.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't come near me. And then gets tricked by Robotnik. That's the only reason he ever comes back.
Yeah.
It's because he got tricked by Eggman again, or tricked by someone again, like,
yeah.
And he has to come back. Like, it's only in more modern times that he, like, becomes, like, a part of the crew. He's part of the team, so he's there all the time. Knuckles used to be like a fucking loner. So
he's like that. He is the more serious out of the 3, and he always has been. He's like, oh, okay, I've got to do this. I got responsibilities. Meanwhile, Tails is just creating shit, and Sonic's just Sonic. Like,
well, I mean, Tails is Tails. He's been a kid who's invents things.
Yeah, he's a techie guy.
That's it.
Yeah,
he's the guy behind the keyboard.
So it's arguably they still reference him to that kind of thing, but it is really cool just to see those characters there.
Well, I mean, you can't really do Tails any other way. I did love that they added the extra detail of like Tails has a backpack all the time.
Yeah.
The only thing is, why did they make it a yellow backpack?
Yeah.
Until I actually really paid attention to what I was looking on the screen, because at some point I looked and I was like, what is going on with Tails' arms? I was like, there's like a little something going on there. And I went, oh, he's got a backpack. Right.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But it's almost the exact color as his fur. That's why in the games, if he has a backpack, he has a blue backpack. So you know.
I love how
I'm just saying. It's like because like if you don't pay attention, you don't know. You're just like, oh, that's weird. They did some strange with the model for Tails. Like, what's going on with his arms? He's got these weird puffs on his arms, like around his shoulders.
Yeah.
It's only because I was like, oh, he's got a backpack, right. Right, okay.
You do kind of forget about that, yeah.
But it's just a strange choice.
No, I get...
Because he's like quite a bright yellow, and it's also a bright yellow backpack.
Yeah, I need to kind of look at it now a little bit, see what you mean. Yeah, Yeah, okay.
Like, if you're not paying attention, you'd just be like, what is up with his, like, shoulders and arms? There's some weird design going on there.
It's kind of weird because in a lot of the promo art for the film, obviously he doesn't have it, but it's it's so weird because even the promo, like even the promos that I'm looking at now, he hasn't got it on. But I do know what you mean. Like I did pick up on the backpack thing. I didn't look too much onto that kind of bit though.
I don't know. Sometimes that's just how my brain is, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd see a thing, I'm just like, why?
Oh, okay. No, here it is. Yep, okay. Yeah, it is the same color as him, and it is.
You see what I mean now? It's just,
Yeah.
it's basically the same color, and you're like, why?
It is a strange thing. Just give him like a fucking different. Any color would be fine. Any color would be fine.
Right? Anything that just stands out against the yellow.
Yeah.
Because, like, you never really see it on his back either, because you don't really.
No, because he's got two tails there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's covering. If there is like, oh look, there's a shot of it, it's gonna be his tails are covering it. So
I mean, I also understand it's because, CGI budget. Why would you have too many shots of the back of Tails where it's his tails, his head, and then backpack?
Yeah.
You're not paying. The studio ain't paying for that.
Yeah, I'll give you so. Yeah. Is it, they're like, so we really went hard on the back. Like, what the fuck are you doing now with the Batman? Get back to fucking do animated shadow or whatever.
Put fucking face in this in a shot, you idiot.
Oh,
Spending all my stupid money on a fucking backpack, you moron.
Right. I'm gonna like give this a spoiler warning now. This is gonna be something for people that have seen the film. Like, so anyone that hasn't seen the film, I'm gonna tell you stop watching because I want to actually discuss this with you, Nate.
Okay.
So this is gonna be major spoilers. This is like right at the end of the film, so don't turn that shit off. Right. So Sonic 4 next movie.
Okay.
We're getting confirmation. We've basically already been confirmed 2 characters that we're getting.
Yeah.
So getting Amy Rose and we're getting
Metal Sonic.
right. Who would you like to see voicing Amy Rose?
I haven't thought about it.
I haven't thought about it either. The first one that jumps to mind is Anya Taylor-Joy, but she's already Peach, and that's way too much of a conflict.
No, I don't. I don't think we should have that double casting.
Nah, it'd be like Jack Black.
Oh, God no. The funny thing is, I don't think we should have the crossover. It's weird because like you and I have always been like, oh fuck the console wars, but at the same time, I'm like, but you were in the Mario movies. I don't need my Nintendo. Like
Yeah.
this is not. Don't cross over. There's no crossover. Don't do that.
I feel like at that point you do become like a Jack Black who is just solely cast in video game movies at this point.
Mm.
Like, because I mean, Borderlands, Minecraft, Mario movie.
Okay, Minecraft. That's oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's
what a interesting choice.
But yeah,
For the voice, I honestly haven't thought about it. I don't really know who.
Mm-hmm.
I would be fine for them to do the same as they did for Tails if it comes down to it, to be honest, and just
keep
just get the original game voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's cool. They probably won't do that though.
No.
Because I feel like Amy Rose is one of those characters that they're like, no, we're gonna need a celeb.
I think they'll cast it.
We need a big name on that one.
They'll cast a big name, I reckon. Like,
especially because they can't get a voice for Metal Sonic because he doesn't speak.
No.
I mean, even if he does speak, they might end up just doing like Sonic Prism, where it's either just Sonic's voice, so Ben Schwartz, or they put some sort of filter on and make it sound a little more robotic, and then Ben Schwartz does like the typical like robot speak.
Yeah.
I could see that maybe, but either way, I don't think Metal Sonic needs to speak.
No, I don't think so. I think if they do, I think it's gonna be for like I don't know, maybe comedic value or something. He'll use like Sonic's voice and Sonic be like, "What the hell? That's weird." And it's gonna be like some weird glitchy error kind of thing because it's a robot at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Which I mean, Metal Sonic is quite a serious character, so I don't know. Will it take away from it if they make it more comedic? I don't know. Whatever. I do think, like you said, though, I do think they'll go for a big name for Amy. Who do I see them doing though?
I don't know. Like the thing is, I don't watch. I don't watch a lot of movies and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's big now? Like who's a big draw? Who's a big sell? And I'm like,
I mean, Florence Pugh is the only one that I kind of like, or Emma Stone.
yeah.
It depends. I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? Ariana Grande.
Oh God.
Give Amy Rose a musical number as well.
I tell you what, that's one thing about the Sonic movies that I really appreciate, that they didn't shoehorn in of just a random fucking musical number where they just all break out in a song for no reason. Because that's never, ever been Sonic. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no.
Sonic has like the cheesy like rock music
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's background music. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want something like that. I never ever want, like, I genuinely think, if personally for me, if they just shoehorn in a musical number, I'm done. The franchise is cooked. It's all done. They jump the shark and I'm done.
I don't think they ever would. You know, it's not that kind of movie. Luckily.
No. I mean, they'll do other cringe shit, but I mean, at the same time, like, you know, the Sonic franchise as a whole is not adverse to lots of weird cringe shit.
I am quite surprised they've decided to go for the Amy and Metal Sonic route, because I genuinely thought, like, before seeing this, I was like, which one are they gonna do? What one are they gonna do? I genuinely thought it was gonna be Silver.
I'm so glad it's not Silver.
It's basically future
Like-
Trunks. That's why you know.
Well, no, it's also because, like, once you get to Silver the Hedgehog, that's where following the game stories gets super weird, because it's all the spacey, wacy, timey-wimey things, and you get Mephiles and Blaze the cat, and then you get Neo Eggman,
Yeah.
and like, it's just a whole like can of worms that I'm like, I understand it's part of the game's lore, but does that mean at some point you're gonna go and be like, oh, you know what we should do for a Sonic film? Werehog. So Werehog.
I think the moment they get to Werehog, I think, you know, I might dip.
Werehog in medieval England.
No.
Werehog the Black Knight.
No.
That's when it's like, no, too far. You're done. You're
Stop.
done. You're done.
Stop it, no. Where the Black Knight? Yeah. Oh.
Like, that's honestly, it's interesting though, because it's like they just sort of like jumping around and being like, oh, we'll do this game and that bits of that
Yeah.
game and this character and that character. I'm like, Metal Sonic, I think was Sonic 2. Amy also, I believe, was Sonic 2.
Yeah.
No, wait, I think Metal Sonic CD actually.
Going Sonic CD vibes. It all depends if Kerry comes back for like number 4 as well. This is one thing, because obviously, again, we've already said don't watch past this kind of thing, but like Robotnik has perished supposedly, but like,
Okay, headcanon.
yeah,
Neither he or Shadow have perished.
yes,
Somehow they're gonna play it in my mind that Shadow last minute somehow Chaos controls in.
he found a Saiyan pod on the moon, and he's off training on another planet where he's learning.
They went to
instant
Yard Rat to learn to.
So Team Sonic tried to revive Shadow using the Dragon Balls, but Shenron's like, no, Shadow is.
He said no.
He said no.
Yeah. Well, because that's what it is, isn't it? He's basically like, Goku said no. He doesn't want to come back.
Oh, no.
Because Goku was training, innit? So like Shenron basically was like, Goku said no because he's training. So it's like Shadow said no, he's training.
But no, I get you completely with that. Like, yeah, there's gonna be a
It's gonna be Chaos Control somewhere. He's just he's teleported himself. Somehow Robotnik also got teleported.
Yeah.
Day of Life somewhere. Again, like I was saying after the film, though, if they don't do something like that, I mean, we've already from Sonic 1, we've established there's different worlds and stuff if you have the rings.
Yeah.
And I reckon even if this Ivo Robotnik is written out in this specific way, that another one couldn't just appear from another universe where he's like, I won and I have the rings.
Yeah, and you bring him back to his eviler self as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like a reset. Then it's back to the old the old formula of Team Sonic versus Robotnik.
Yeah, there we go. And then we go into Sonic Heroes.
I'm surprised you didn't mention it, because like, you know, when they touched down in Tokyo,
Yeah.
they did do the stack formation, and I'm surprised you didn't say anything. I was hoping you wouldn't, which luckily you didn't, because I saw that and I was like, God damn it, God friggin' damn it.
I mean, yeah, it's always just been there. Like the moment, arguably when they said Team Sonic, it's like, yeah, it's just everything's a Sonic Heroes reference at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, like, everything is Team Sonic. I mean, even the development team is okay. Swap the words around, but it's Sonic Team.
And then there's Team Sonic Racing.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that to be in the fourth film. Everyone's in cars now.
I mean, Shadow already had his motorbike, so
yeah, there we go. Just add more, more vehicles, please.
The whole fourth film is just them in karts.
Yeah,
it's the kart racer movie,
and they play Take on Me while they're racing as well. So everything's just a rip off. Everything. Yeah. Oh man. Right. Is there anything else you want to say? I feel like we're rambling on a bit. But is there anything else you want to say before?
Go and watch the film. It's actually very good.
Yeah.
Quite an enjoyable film. There's more in it that will surprise a Sonic fan, I think. There's probably way more Easter eggs than even we picked up on.
Exactly, yeah. There's always is. There's like, there'll be a YouTube video somewhere that'll be like, oh, 100 Sonic Easter eggs you missed in this film. And then you're like, oh, okay. Didn't even pick up on that. It'll be something. And arguably, I think both what me and Nathan said, it is our favorite Sonic film out of the three. So yeah, if you haven't checked it out and you made it to the end of the video, go check it out. If you have checked it out, let us know in the comments what you thought. Is it your favorite Sonic film? I feel like it should be. Let us know in the comments. What did you like? What you didn't like about it? Let us know. Thank you for listening, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button for future Culture Boys videos. Hit that future bell button. That's Silver the Hedgehog coming through there. Hit that Silver the Hedgehog.
Oh god,
button.
if that's the case, don't hit that button.
We release videos every Sunday, so keep an eye out for that. Click the links in our description. We have our podcast there as well. And we'll see you guys next time for another Cultured Boys episode. Bye bye.
Bye.